All right, welcome into another episode of the 2022 MLB Draft Show. Tonight, we're hitting the Pac-12 again, baby. I love representing the West Coast. We've got Cal's own Dylan Beavers, man. Dylan, what's going on? How you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty good. Just finished up practice, watching the Red Sox and Astros game, and then shuffling back to Monday Night Football.
Go team, go sports!
All right, man. Well, I like to open things up. I like to just kind of give you an opportunity to tell the viewers, tell the listeners who Dylan Beavers is on the field. I know you came to Cal as a pitcher, but now you absolutely bang at the plate. So kind of tell the viewers who you are.
Yeah, so I came into Cal as a pitcher. I had anticipated pitching most of my time at Cal, and then I just ended up hitting well my freshman fall, and they had me playing center field by the end of the COVID year, and that carried over to last spring, and I kind of just settled in as a outfielder and stuck to hitting. But yeah, I would say, like, as a player, I'm like kind of quieter on the field, lead by example, not super rowdy or anything. Just try and be as best of a teammate as possible, get some wins.
How much hitting did you do in high school? Because you've got a pretty pure swing, man. I mean, I've seen JD Davis comps, I've seen Christian Yelich comps. It's a pretty smooth, sweet swing. I guess, how prepared were you to switch from pitching to hitting? It looks like it comes very naturally to you.
So I was honestly in high school, I focused on hitting for sure. And I kind of just had a good arm. So they recruited me as a pitcher. I didn't really have any pitching coaches. I just threw hard. And so I anticipated they would have me pitching just because of the way I threw. They did say they'd give me a chance to hit. But yeah, in high school, I was trying to be a position player because I love hitting and I want to play every day. So I was for sure prepared. I was definitely under the radar in high school, just honestly, like, focusing in completely on hitting, I think was a big difference maker for me at college.
Yeah, man, I would say so. I mean, digging in on your numbers, I mean, there's probably not a lot of people that know this, but you are one of two hitters in the entire country last year with a contact rate over 80% and an average exit velo over 92 miles an hour. The other guy was a day one pick in Tyler Black, second baseman. I think he went to the Brewers, I want to say. Talk to me a little bit about your approach at the plate, because clearly your bat to ball skills are very, very good, and you punish the ball with authority. So kind of, how do you approach each at bat?
So the main thing for me as far as contact, like, I have had when I start struggling is I'm usually getting out by strikeout, and that's been like a thing for me for a while. Is just when I get in a 2-strike count, I didn't really have a great approach, especially my freshman year. Even though it was a shortened season, I did strike out a lot for that limited sample size. And kind of the thing that clicked for me and changed was with 2 strikes, as opposed to expanding my zone, I decided to start thinking the other way around and minimize my zone, just because I know pitchers want to get you to chase with 2 strikes, especially in like a 0-2, 1-2 count. Just minimizing my zone to kind of lower the chance of me chasing out of the zone with 2 strikes really made a difference for me, at least in my mind. I think that really helped my 2-strike approach for sure.
Yeah, I think you're dead on. I mean, all of your rate stats suggest that you're a guy that makes a ton of contact, but you do have kind of an outlier-ish K rate. I think it's like 22%. I mean, it's nothing to really worry about. But is that something that you're kind of looking at in 2022 as the main part of your game that can grow?
Yeah, definitely. I think I definitely want to kind of change the narrative as far as strikeouts go for me, because I know I can put the ball in play. It's like, I don't think it's an issue for me, and kind of just what I want to focus on this spring is just having a better walks to strikeout ratio. I think I can definitely walk more than strike out, and I think that would be beneficial too, just to give me a shot on the bases because I know I can steal bags. So that's kind of the main thing I'm gonna probably work on and hope to improve on next spring.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the type of player you are, because I would say you're not a prototypical center fielder, right? 6'4", 20 pounds, 215 pounds. You run like a gazelle. What do you kind of see your future role as? Do you see yourself as a center fielder? Do you see yourself as a corner outfielder? I guess a better question might be: is there a guy at the big league level that viewers and listeners can look to and compare you to?
Yeah, for me personally, I want to stay in center field as long as I can. I got moved to right uh, halfway through the season last year, and I definitely would rather be in center. But um, whatever happens, happens. I'm fine with playing any of the outfield positions, and I got to do that this summer. So yeah, I think a player like I would, like you said earlier, compare myself to is Yelich. Probably, I really like his game. So yeah, that's who comes to mind for me.
Okay. Well, let's work away from the plate a little bit. We've already kind of talked about who you are as a pitcher. What are some of your other strengths? Because looking at the box scores, it's pretty clear you can run. I mean, you've got a big arm on the mound. So, you kind of look at these tools and you say, okay, is it a plus arm in the outfield? Is it a plus run tool? Is it a plus, power tool? Where do you want to improve in terms of just your holistic body of work moving towards your first draft eligible year?
I think for me, I think that I do, I have speed, I have an arm. The main thing I just want to work on is my, first of all, just explosion, because it does, like, for me, take a second to get running. Once I catch stride, I'm good. But yeah, I just want to focus on being explosive for my first step. And I think that'll help me in the outfield, getting better jumps on balls. And yeah, so the thing I plan on focusing on is just my defensive, just the glove. Not necessarily arm strength or speed. Um, just like my glove, my coordination is also a big thing. Just because, I'm still feel like I'm growing into my body, kind of getting more coordinated, and I've definitely have improved on that the past few years, but I still think I have room to grow on that.
Okay. Well, let's talk Cal. I mean, you guys are coming off a pretty good year. You lost some pitching, but you return another strong roster. What kind of goals do you guys have as a program in 2022?
Yeah, our goal every year is just to have, you know, a good chance to go to Omaha, and that starts by, winning, trying to win every game, showing up for every game. I think last year for us, we won big games, but our struggle was the games that you would not necessarily think are the important games, like midweek. So I think what we've been hammering this fall is just showing up same way, same player every single game. Um, just because, like, at the end, those midweeks that we dropped that we probably could have won came back to bite us, So we're just trying to focus on taking it game by game. And hopefully, at the end of the season, we look up and we're getting called in the regional.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the advantages that Cal has to offer to its players. Let's talk tech. How often do you incorporate Rapsodo or Hit Tracks or Blast Motion, K-Vest? I mean, any of these newfound technologies into your game? Do you like seeing the metrics, or are you more of a feel guy?
We definitely on the hitting end at Cal keep it simple, we do radar all of our BPs just to kind of hammer the idea of driving the ball to the middle of the field, because in BP a lot of guys can get super into just hitting homers, So a big thing for us is those backspin liners between second base and shortstop are the ones that translate to homers, extra base hits in the game. So that's just a big thing for us. Is like every day when we hit BP, we have the radar gun behind the L screen, and we just tally all our exit velos. They take notes, get our average exit velos. So I know the pitchers use Rapsodo. They use all that tech. But yeah, I think just the exit velo is important, especially when they keep it behind the L screen, because you have to drive it to the middle of the field for it to pick up. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but definitely like super helpful, I think, for the whole team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's process oriented for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's talk next steps, because this is going to be your second draft eligible year after high school. What kind of things are you looking to prove to scouts, prove to big league organizations between now and next July?
Yeah, I think I want to prove that I'm more of a polished player than I was out of high school. Just I don't want to be seen as a projectable guy, with a good body. I want to prove that I can play now and that I'm ready and I'm polished. So I just want to go out there, and give the best performance I can, be a leader on the team, help us win games, because I think that's just as important as whatever, the draft next summer. Winning games is kind of my main focus right now, because I want to be a part of a winning culture. So I want to bring that to Cal.
Amen. Amen. All right, man. Well, I like to end these interviews with some kind of off the wall questions, a good chance for you to kind of joke on some of the guys you've played with or some of the different stadiums that you've been at. So I like to start off college ball players with a pretty simple question. It's a good chance to put someone on blast. What fan base have you played in front of that really needs to step it up a notch?
Step it up. Shoot. I'd say, St. Mary's probably. It's a smaller school, but there's never anybody over there. So, granted, we play them in midweeks usually. There's not going to be a ton of fans, but there's never anybody at those games. So that's the first school that comes to mind for me.
Okay. Well, I have to say it on air because I don't know if you've seen the video yet. Josh Kasevich, the shortstop over at Oregon, says that Cal needs to bring more fire.
I think Cal might need to turn it up a notch.
So,
yeah.
Spread the word, man. I'm here to start fires.
No, yeah. I can get behind that. I definitely think we need a little more, especially for a Power 5 school. It'd be nice to get a little more, energy in the stadium. But I thought that, with COVID and stuff, I thought we showed out pretty well against them last year at the end of the season. But
it's a tough situation. Situation. Okay, second question would be, in the Pac-12, St. Mary's, it doesn't matter, whoever you faced over the last 2 years, who's the best pitcher that you've seen? I shouldn't say the best, because that can always translate to the highest draft pick. Who's the toughest look that you've had to face over the last couple of years?
In the conference, probably Cooper Hjerpe from Oregon State. Yeah, I had a really tough time picking the ball up out of his hand. Yeah, he hides it well. He's got good stuff. So I think that was the toughest ABs for me. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I think Beck from Stanford was good too.
Yeah, Hjerpe's that's a good one. He's a favorite of ours over at Prospects Live. And I'm a West Coast guy, so I got to root for the Oregon State and Pac-12. All right, last one. And this is kind of what we always finish with. What's the dumbest fact that you know about literally anything in the world that not a lot of people know?
I don't know. The first thing I think of, it's pretty simple. I think a good amount of people know this, but like tomato is a fruit. I'm pretty sure, right?
You'd be surprised how many people don't know that.
Yeah, I think that's like the first weird one that comes to mind for me.
Not a bad one, man. Well, hey, Dylan, thank you so much for joining the show. Really enjoyed getting to know you and allowing you to introduce yourself to the viewers and to the listeners. And I'll be sure to be out and see you in a Pac-12 game at University of Washington or Washington State this year. And we'll be rooting for you, man.
Awesome.
We really like what you bring over at Prospects Live, and I think you got a big year in store.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.